right, Black and White Network. We're going to talk about Chicago because, well, it's Monday and we just had a holiday coming out of Chicago. So, as you can imagine, a hell of a lot of people got shot. Lack of a better way of putting it, there it is. Hell of a lot of people got shot. And, of course, this is the weekly running series about Chicago on this channel. However, we're going to cover something involving Brandon Johnson and his police budget before we even get to the shootings, because he just enacted a budget that has got one of the worst ideas in the history of bad ideas ever for a town that is continuously under fire by gang violence and urban warfare. I mean, this idea is going to risk more citizens' lives, more law-abiding citizens' lives, because he's canning cops and choosing not to bring those positions back and instead put civilians into a number of those positions, not rehire cops. Now, I will say this, keep in mind, he probably can't hire any cops anyway, because when you're in a progressive city like that, they hate the cops, and cops don't want to work for you. They want to go somewhere like here in Texas or in Florida or Alabama or somewhere where they actually still take care of their police forces. They fund their police forces. They give them the things they need to do their jobs. They have nice budgets. And the citizens actually respect the police forces. So let's look at this. This is nuts. You can see this. Mayor Johnson cans cops for civilians in a bold $2 billion budget reboot. Wow. In a daring twist, and I think this is sort of a progressive website. I don't know. So there's that, and keep it in mind as we're going through. This is not like the Post-Millennial or Daily Wire or something like that. Actually, the article is technically from the Chicago Tribune, but that was behind a paywall, so forget it. In a daring twist on traditional police budgeting, Chicago's freshly inaugurated Mayor Brandon Johnson is stirring the pot with a record-breaking $2 billion allocated for the Windy City's Police Department for a 2024 a raise that keeps to his campaign pledge, but there's a catch. Hundreds of vacant street cop positions are being axed to be replaced by a wave of civilian workers. As per a Chicago Tribune report, the fiscal facelift indicates that Johnson's attempt to reshape the force, despite his vow not to reduce funding, we know better, which certainly plays well with the progressive base that helped catapult him in the office. By the way, the city staffers, they just went through and advocated for Hamas. Remember, I put that in my video on Thursday. Plays well with the progressive base that helped catapult him in the office. The mayor's budget transforms the topography of the force by dispatching more than 800 empty badges into the abyss. He just sent those 800 cop positions straight to hell. There we go. Lack of a better way to put it, straight to hell. And concocted roughly 400 new civilian slots. Let me not sugarcoat this. Concocted roughly 400 new civilian targets. I mean, it's about to be target practice for the gangbangers out there, for law-abiding citizens that are trying to help, that are actually, if you're a citizen, you decide to do this, you might as well wear a shirt with a target on it. That's just crazy. This move intended to shove officers from behind the desk into the thick of the street beats, as highlighted by the Tribune, in a step Johnson labeled as different, announcing the system that we inherited will not likely be the system that we pass on. Reforms are afoot. How many times have we talked about the fact that Democrats don't use defund the police anymore? They use things like reforms or re-imaging as a way to try to take the negative shit stench off of these progressive ideas. They're still the same thing, so keep that in mind. Reforms are afoot with boost to training and supervisory roles sketched out to win over compliance with federal consent decree. On the other hand, bean counters such as the Civic Federation give the nod to the strategy for trimming expenses, since civilians can be less of a strain on city coffers and also less qualified. I'm just throwing that in. Yet at the heart of Johnson's reshuffle lays a much bolder narrative, one of eschewing the defund dogma, told you, and embracing a fresh angle on public safety that sidles past punitive measures and instead dances towards enveloping community investment with grace, as detailed in the CBS Chicago analysis. You're worried about handling things with grace when it's warfare on the streets? You don't believe it's warfare on the streets? At least 30 shot over Chicago's Thanksgiving Day weekend. And you're wanting to roll civilians out to the streets. Okay. Look, guys, this is what these people vote for up there. And now people are going to be hired. They're going to become fish in a barrel for the thugs and the hoodlums that are blasting everybody. It's bad enough you have some kind of like under 10-year-old collateral damage pretty regularly up there. I can't imagine who or what these citizens are. These people do not think the same way we do here in Texas at all. We would hear this and it would be immediately flushed as one of the worst ideas in the history of all bad ideas. And dangerous. Throwing that in too, as if things weren't dangerous enough. All keeping in mind, they're talking about gun violence is because of the guns. Strictest gun laws in the country don't work for crap there because, well, criminals don't give a rat's ass about abiding by actual gun laws. At least 30 people were shot, one of them fatally. So far, it looks like only one person died, but there were 30 people shot in Thanksgiving Day weekend. They don't take breaks there. Breitbart News reported 25 were shot in the Windy City by Saturday night alone, with one of the shooting victims succumbing to their wounds. Keep in mind, by the time we get to tomorrow, 5 or 6 of these people may be dead. One of the non-fatal shootings was a drive-by incident just after midnight on Thursday that left 5 teens wounded near United Center. The teens ranged from 15 to 18 years old, although wounded were in good condition. CBS News noted that by Monday morning, the total number of shooting victims in Chicago for Thanksgiving weekend has reached at least 30. They were reported 5 non-fatal shootings on Sunday. 3 of them were incidents in which people were walking their dog or simply walking down the street when someone opened fire. God almighty. Wow. A 49-year-old woman in the 100 block of South Sacramento Boulevard was robbed at gunpoint just before 8 a.m. Sunday morning. And one of the suspects shot her in the abdomen after stealing her belongings. Boy, it's a bunch of brave souls up there, right? Pulling guns on women, on 49-year-old women, and shooting them at 8 a.m. on Sunday morning. The victim was hospitalized in good condition. Chicago, like all of Illinois, has a licensing requirement for legal gun ownership, a 72-hour waiting period on gun purchases, a red flag law, and an assault weapons ban, which includes a ban on high-capacity magazines. Moreover, Chicago sits in Cook County, and that county has an additional assault weapons ban. Boy, that's really working out for you. It seems that stuff's working flawlessly. Nevertheless, nearly 540 people have been killed in Chicago in 2023, according to the Chicago Sun-Times. Yeah. Again, criminals don't give a rat's about your gun laws. Your gun laws are super strict, and y'all are shooting people, 30 people at a time during the weekend, sometimes upwards of 50. And now, instead of bringing back 800 to your 800 Chicago police, number one, like I said, cops don't want to be cops there anymore because they're not appreciated. Look, do whatever you have to. Double the salaries. Add 15 grand. Whatever. Monetarily incentivize cops wanting to try to come to work there. Give them a reason to want to come back to Chicago. And back their play. When they arrest somebody, actually prosecute them. That's a novel idea, is it not? Wow. It's crazy. Guys, it's ludicrous. And the citizens continuously invite and elect this. You know, we talked about all those people getting mad because of the migrants. You need that same energy with things like this. I don't get it. I really don't. Tell me what you think. Yeah, once again, the hoodlums took Thanksgiving weekend and gave the cops the bird. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.